My name is Brad. Welcome back to 59 Gaming. Today, we're jumping in for what might be the most replayable classic Pokemon game, being Emerald, Ruby, and Sapphire at the same time. So, we already did Red, Blue, and Yellow, Gold, Silver, and Crystal. This will be in one gigantic playlist. You're more than welcome to go check those out. I highly recommend it if you enjoy this style of content. Let's get in. Let's talk about Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, some of the absolute peak Pokemon games. Feel free to follow us over on Twitter at 59 Gaming. If you enjoy my commentary, you can follow me at RadicalYT. Let's go. So everything about the intro to Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald is pretty much iconic. Riding in the back of a truck. I literally put in the script, riding in the back of a truck, lol. You have a dad, lol. But everything about the intro to Ruby and Sapphire is fantastic. From riding in the truck all the way up until the professor getting attacked by a Poochyena and you gotta help him, you get your starter, and you go from there. It's genuinely one of the best intros because it mirrors the anime very nicely. And it's just a nice, fun intro to it. And it shows you your rival. I'm a big May and Brendan fan, personally. Obviously more May because she was in the anime. But I'm a big fan of them as rivals. Because, yeah, they are just a happy-go-lucky, nice kind of rival, which isn't my cup of tea. But they're also very challenging. Like, they're not easy whenever it comes to that. But you meet them very early on. Turns out they're the kid of the professor. You gotta learn this. You gotta go up and battle them. And it's not the easiest battle. It's not the hardest battle either. But it's definitely not the easiest battle. You're not straight up in the lab. Boom. You know, you gotta go out of your way to lose, essentially. Fantastic start to the games. Like I said, I meant what I said. I literally put, you have a dad, lol. And to this day, this is the only time you have a dad. I don't know why Pokemon has, like, stuck to their guns so heavily on you just not having a father. Like, you just do not have a dad. It's just how it is. It's not a big deal. Everybody's like, yeah, whatever. You don't even need one. No big deal. Your mom's pretty cool. But in this one, you got Norman. And again, he ties in the anime. Maybe that's why they did that. I love it. Kick it off. You look at the TV. Your mom's like, oh, your dad's on there. And then you go meet your dad up in Petalburg. He helps Wally catch a Pokemon. And he's like, hey, listen, man, I want to fight you too, but you're not strong enough to come back. You come back and fight him later. It's great. One of the things that Emerald, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, but Emerald specifically has, it's probably the perfectly paced Pokemon game. Everything about it lines up so well. The levels are super nice. The hard points that are hard hit at the perfect moments. Like right when you're over the moon, you just got to Slateport. You're just running up. You're like, yo, bicycle path, let's get it. And then your rival just knocks you into the ground. It's a rough feeling the first time, but it is one of the few games that when I go back and I play it, it feels like a new game every time. It's wild. I can't describe it. But Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, I have countless memories of sitting in a college class on my phone playing through Emerald, like emulated. Countless memories. Probably 40, 50 of them, legitimately sitting there playing that game over and over and over again. Absolutely amazing. I will always think that these are probably the peak. They're definitely the peak Game Boy games. Just Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, yada yada. They're definitely the peak version of that. But everything about Emerald, to me, just screams, I'm a great game. It sounded better in my head, honestly. So Pokemon really went for the twos on this one. You have two evil teams. You have two protagonists that you can play as, either May or Brendan, which they don't specifically say the names, but they kind of do. Obviously, you know May, right? But double battles also started in this generation. Everything about this generation started with a 2, which is ironic because it's the third. But I think it's a fantastic way to show off with the Game Boy Advance and the Game Boy Advance SP what they were capable of. Because at that time, trading with other people wasn't really like a thing. Like, yeah, I mean, it was. Like, I still have my link cable to this day, like the bright green cable. And it was like me and my friend would trade a little bit in red, blue, and obviously a little bit in gold and silver, but not as much. I mean, at the end of Crystal, after the Pokemon movie 2000, actually after Entei came out, a lot of my friends fell off. Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald was pretty much the start of people kind of moving away a little bit. Not too heavily. You had your diehards, obviously. Welcome to the club. But a lot of people at that time But at least when I ask people, that's when they kind of pulled away a little bit from the franchise as a whole, was around Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. I remember waking up Saturday morning in 2004, and like, I was like, Mom, you got to get up now. We're going to Walmart, bro, and buying Emerald. And at that time, everybody talks about, you know, the third game isn't that much of a change. Obviously, Crystal was different in the sense of like Suicune and stuff like that. Emerald is amazing. Actually, like, peak at the end of it. When it comes to the legendaries, Kyogre and Groudon just kind of hate each other. They're just a-holes. They're like, yeah, dude, I like land. Okay, well, Rip, I like water. And then Rayquaza's like, it doesn't matter what you like. You're both going to lose. Okay, he loses to Kyogre with Ice Beam, but that's not the point. It doesn't matter. Everything about Emerald just encompasses a perfect paced adventure. It's literally an adventure. The one thing I will give the negative, I want to chuck one negative into each of these videos. The Elite Four is very lame. It's not fun. It's not enjoyable. They're not cool. The Elite Four is just kind of there. Drake is kind of cool, but it's like, bro, there's already a Drake in the anime. What are you doing, man? Come on. So yeah, that's the one negative that I would give is the Elite Four. So nowadays, all you youngins with the internet, back in like 2000, it would have been like 2002, 2003, was around the time that Ruby and Sapphire were out, and there was still schoolyard rumors. It wasn't as much because the internet was becoming a thing at that point, but there was still a little bit here and there where people were talking about Deoxys and Jirachi, and I remember being like, who? And then I had a friend who told me, hey, you got to go up to the observatory and you got to look at this rock 100 times, and then you'll get on the rocket and you'll go up to the moon and you'll fight Deoxys. Either way, this is about the time schoolyard rumors started to die. Because, again, the internet became a thing. You could fact check it. I remember looking up how to get Jirachi and Deoxys. Come to find out Jirachi, they were just going to give it away with Coliseum. You know, big rip on that one. You know, I don't even want to know how many hours I spent trying to get them through just random means. I don't even want to know. But it is a little bit... It's a little bit of a bummer in the back of my mind with it being the death of schoolyard rumors. Because that was always the thing. You know, red, blue, and yellow, you had Mew, and you had the Pokegods, you had all that kind of stuff. Gold, silver, and crystal, you had kind of the same thing. Not as much. Not nearly as much in gold, silver, and crystal. Around that time, people were kind of wising up a little bit. But there was still a couple of rumors here and there. And then Ruby and Sapphire Emerald was about the time. It kind of was just, yeah, they exist. We just don't know how to get them. And then, obviously, the movie came out. Deoxys and Rayquaza fighting, and Jirachi got distributed. He had a movie, everything. But it was, you know, a bit of a sombering experience when all of a sudden, schoolyard rumors were gone. So I never played the Battle Frontier as a kid. Never. But I have watched countless videos nowadays as an adult. The Battle Frontier is amazing. I wish I had played it as a kid. It's very hard. I would have lost instantly. It is not an easy challenge. But man, I wish I had known how cool it was when I was a little kid. Because then when Oris came out, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and everybody's talking about, you know, oh, there's no Battle Frontier, and I was like, whatever, I don't care. Come to look out, I kind of care. It would have been awesome. Go watch some videos of the Battle Frontier if you haven't. It gets crazy hard. You can get, like, hacked shinies and stuff. It's a really just cool thing. As an actual in-game thing, it's just a cool feature, too. But obviously, look at, you know, hack shinies that's always pretty lit. It's definitely something I didn't have. Didn't really know I wanted, honestly. Alright, fun fact of the video. The actual most expensive Pokemon game that's like an open, not graded copy, at least as far as I've checked, during like quarantine was the last time I really looked into prices, the Ruby and Sapphire Pokemon box. Technically speaking, a game where it's just Pokebank in 2003. That's all it was, and it's about the most expensive. You good back there? Yeah. Yeah, it's the most expensive game, technically speaking. But the seamless connection that it has to the GameCube, obviously with Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver, and Crystal, you could play those games in, you know, double or triple speed. That was great. That was awesome. You just play those games. Coliseum and XD, which they're going to get their own video, the level of connectivity with Ruby and Sapphire, it feels just so nice because it functions as a battle sim. It's a whole separate game. Just everything about it. Fantastic to the job way back when it came to them connecting to the GameCube. Oh my gosh, I'm so distracted by my cat right now. Alright, the last thing I'll leave on this video, like I touched on a little bit, I think Team Magma and Aqua are like some of the best. I personally think Galactic is probably my favorite overall team. I just think Cyrus is... We don't talk about BDSP Cyrus, but I think Cyrus is cool just in general, and obviously gets us when it comes to Team Plasma and stuff. But I love the opposing forces. Now, come to find out, actually, it was mirroring real life, where they were having massive problems in Japan with whaling and all this kind of stuff, and water and land, yada, yada, yada. And it actually was kind of mirroring it a little bit. You have to look it up. It's a very in-depth thing. It's not really even a theory. It's almost quite literally mirrored onto it. But it's fantastic. It makes zero sense from an actual evil team. Why would you want the world covered in water? Or why would you want no water? But it's fine. It still works great. For the legends, it still works great. Rayquaza is legitimately the perfect third legendary. You will never change my mind on that. I love Giratina, and I think he's really cool, and that's great. But when it comes to what it does in the story and everything, and design and just catching and everything, Rayquaza is peak, in my opinion. Emerald for me, it's going to get a 9 out of 10. I would easily give it a 9 out of 10. Every time I go back and play these games, I have almost a magical time. It's hard to explain. I've played them so many times. I don't even know. 100 times I've played through Ruby and Sapphire. Maybe not got to the Elite Four, but I've gotten to like at least like the 7th gym, and then I'm like, Tate and Liza, get out of here. It's like, leave me alone. But yeah, I would easily say 9 out of 10. These are some of the games that are very, very close to perfection, in my opinion. Nostalgia-wise, obviously at this point, there is nostalgia for it, because it was like 2003, 2004. So it lines up on being nostalgic. Some people forget the Wii is almost 20 years old. Fun times getting older, but fantastic game. 9 out of 10. The next one is Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. Spoilers, they are my favorite generation, Gen 4. We don't count BDSP. It wasn't horrific or anything, but we just don't count it. But I'm going to have some biases on that one, even more than this one. But if you enjoy this style of content, again, leave a like, sub to the channel, it's greatly appreciated. You can follow 59 Gaming over on Twitter, and you should follow. Thank you so much. If you want to follow me, my name is BradicalYT. Thank you so much. Deuces.